But yeah, I remember going through, like, you know, a slice of life anime in like a day, essentially. I kind of miss being able to, like, easily work through a franchise, or work through an anime like that. I mean, that I'm watching an anime at all right now is kind of saying a lot, but also saying literally nothing, because literally everyone can guess what anime I'm watching at the moment. Like, it's very predictable if you're gonna try to make a guess of what animes you're currently watching on your own time. It's very easy to guess. Just gonna say F that. This is a fun fight, I just don't want to be arsed to deal with it right now. I did my time fighting Metal Sonic, or whatever the hell the one in Sonic 2 is called. Everyone keeps disagreeing on what that robot is. It's like Silver Sonic, but that's confusing now. So yeah, I don't know what people call it anymore, or what the canon name would actually be for that. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else going on, like... In terms of anime, there are a couple more this season I'm actually a little bit curious in, but I'm mostly just focusing on one at the moment. But yeah, this is the first time I've, like, kept up, like, weekly with an anime in forever. And again, it's very predictable. But it's actually been kind of nice, not gonna lie. Oh shoot, That was a lot to take in all at once. That thing is fun, but it's also really stressful. Like, this is a very good final zone, not just for the game, but also the trilogy, I'd say. This is a really good send-off, in my opinion. Like, a very nice, challenging, trippy level that's just got a lot of cool gimmicks to it. The music's pretty decent. So yeah, overall, pretty fun. A Sonic level tier list would be interesting, because I actually don't know what I'd pick for some of them. So, like, would we do all 3 games at once, or would we go by game? Because, like, I actually don't know what my overall favorite zone is in in this trilogy. And again, for Fox Girls favorites, I don't think I'm doing CD or Gems collection, just for the sake of, like, time and scheduling. It's like, I like Sonic CD more than most, in all honesty, but it's still not like a game I have a ton of childhood love for, which is kind of the whole point of this series at this point. Again, it'll go to other games that mean a lot to me, but again, these are just the childhood games. I also am kind of torn on the next one we're doing, because it's an RPG, but it's also a short RPG, so it's like, I don't know what kind of time frame we're looking at for finishing it. Probably 4 streams at most, maybe 3. It's only like 10 hours. Especially because I know what I'm doing, because I've played this game obsessively for so many years. I'm just gonna be reckless. This is a horrible idea, but I'm committed now. Oh, okay, I didn't know there were actually springs down there. How lovely. This weird sequence here. Alright, okay. Right there, right on. Sonic Rush is also a consideration, but I don't know how the special stages would go with my setup. So that would be a concern there. Because those are very touchscreen intensive. It's like, oh, let's just play Osu in the middle of the Sonic special stage, is basically Sonic Rush's gimmick. And it's fun on DS, I just don't think it'd be fun on other formats, yeah, quote unquote. Even with, like, a mouse, I don't really like touch controls on, like, DS games. Like, a mouse still doesn't feel great, because, like, it's not as, like, snappy as just tapping on the screen directly. This feels excessive. Like, I don't know why that needs to take, like, a minute. Is this the end? It is, okay. Apologies if you wanted to see me actually fight these bosses, but, I just kinda like using hypersonic for these. Okay. Okay. We're fine. I mean, we can't die here anyway, but still, it's like, that was very disorienting. Okay, Act 2. Curious how this will go. We actually will end up pausing partway through to take a break, I'm pretty sure. That's fine, this stage is a lot anyway. We might actually get to a very organic break point, but we'll see. Oops, I should have gotten the upgrades. The other interesting question is, what's the best final zones in a Sonic game? Like, best ending zone? Death Egg is kind of unopposed, just because, like, Scrap Brain is kind of garbage. Like, in terms of difficulty and the 3-act thing, it's just kind of annoying. Conversely, Death Egg in Sonic 1 is only one zone, it's just 2 bosses, so it's like... I don't think it's a very good zone, even though I think it's a decent enough final boss set. You can kind of tell that the Mania team really liked Sonic CD, if that makes sense, because it kind of... Like, a lot of the original zones kind of have Sonic CD, like, design philosophies to them, and that's, like, a really interesting thing to me with Sonic Mania, is seeing, like, these people who have just, you know, previously, at that point, remastered Sonic games, seeing them actually, like, craft levels of their own, and seeing how they apply the classic design philosophy is really interesting. Okay. We're fine. We're alive. Barely. And yeah, like, you can kind of gather from certain zones, like, where their inspiration is for some things. Like, Titanic Monarch feels very much kind of like in the vein of CD in a way. At least in my opinion. Partly because of how, like, open it is at times. And, like, I can't remember the name of Superstar's final level, but that level can go to hell. I don't like Superstars. The more time passes, the less I like it, I think. It's such a shame, too, because, like, Superstars has potential. Like, there's good ideas in it. It's just there's a whole lot of bad in the way. Like, I still need to go back and do that final boss, to be honest. Literally, if it wasn't for the bosses, I would feel a lot better about Egg Fortress. Every boss just is, like... The zone's great except for the boss. And then you get to, like, the bonus stuff. It's like, this is insufferable. This is, like, some of the worst... Like, as someone who spent 6 hours on, the Master Coco trial, the boss of Egg Fortress is, I think, the worst thing I've ever seen in a Sonic game. Like, straight up. I don't think Act 1 has a boss. Not that I remember, at least. A couple of Act 1s don't have bosses, like, the first level only has the fish chase. Yeah, Act 2's boss is, like, the worst thing I've seen in a Sonic game, like, period. And then it gets worse, because then they introduce a harder version. And that one is absurd. Like, let's just do an entire boss built around one-hit kills, like... Literally, who thought this was fun? And also, let's not have a single checkpoint in this fight. So you have to do this 10-minute fight, in... like, one hit, essentially. It's like, why would they do that? Like, I just kinda didn't even bother. I got to it, I tried it like 4 times, I think, and then just was like, I'm not even gonna try. Life's too short, basically, was kind of my feeling of like, I can't be bothered. This is a very awkward time for this, but hey, ads are about to start, so I'm gonna get up and stretch for a moment. Okie dokie, we are back in this hell, trying to finish up this stage. I will say I don't actually think Death Egg 2 is— wait, never mind, I'm gonna shut up. Because I just remembered this boss. I was gonna be like, I don't think Death Egg 2 is that bad. And then like, I immediately will eat my words on this. Yeah, I don't like this boss. It's very annoying. It just takes a long time, and also it's just very hard to hold on to rings, at least for me. Like, it's just kind of frustrating more than anything, I think. In general, Sonic fights that take a long time almost are worse to me than fights that are hard. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I'd rather like a difficult fight that's short. That's not what I meant to do, game. Okay. Well, that was mercifully easy, but I really wish I had held on to my rings for that, because now we have to do this next part without Hyper Sonic, which I'm not looking forward to, because this is like kind of annoying. Oh shoot, I've got the floor collapsed. Oh, that could have been real bad. Alright, so this is the Death Egg robot. Okay, nice. Rip tails. There we go, and just one hand left. Oh wait, you don't even have to like dash immediately, you can just keep spin dashing. That's kind of broken. I'm surprised you didn't fix that. So now we have the obnoxious part, because we have collapsing floor. Tails is actually like the worst part of this fight, in my opinion. Because, like, if the boss has iframes because Tails lands a hit, then you will just plummet into the void. So yeah, I just don't think my heart's in it, which is just kind of— I feel bad for Sonic 3 specifically, because I had a decent time with Sonic 1 and 2. And Sonic 3 even, because, you know, if we're being, you know, particular, this isn't Sonic 3, this is and Knuckles. But again, it also goes back to— I just never really liked Sonic and Knuckles as much to begin with. I need to wait until after the flame. It needs to be more patient, basically. Okay. There we go. See, I just need to be patient. But I was just kind of rushing it too much because I was going too much on autopilot, because I'm so used to doing this with Hyper or Super form. This is also like really obnoxious in my opinion, because it's like very easy to just decelerate enough to die. Like, it just always feels like you're gonna die here, because this is like such a tight window. Anyway, finally got through that. That took way longer than I was hoping it would, but it's fine. Anyway, Doomsday, we get this fun zone. This is the first supersonic fight in the series, or mandatory supersonic fight in the game, because others you can obviously— actually no, you can't fight Death Egg Robot with Super, because there's no rings. So yeah, this is the first actual supersonic fight in the series. Which is actually weird, because they kind of moved away from that. I actually disagree with that, personally. Like, Colors onwards, well, that only is Colors Lost World and Forces. But like, those games don't have supersonic fights, they just have like regular Sonic fights, and they kind of suck, in my opinion. The Wisp mech thing is okay. Lost Worlds is like not very fun in my opinion, but that's just me being pissy at Lost World in general. Probably, I fully admit. And then... what am I trying to say? And then... Forces is just painfully easy. Like, it's just completely, like, the most autopilot final boss. The hardest part is actually the, avatar part. Because you can I actually die very easily in the avatar section. Every other part of that fight is like a piece of cake, in my opinion. I feel like I should put up a motion sickness warning for this part. I actually don't have any kind of warning system in place. I really should get one, though. It's like, there are definitely games where I'll need to put up, like, a gore warning. Mainly RE2. I don't have many rings. That's not a good sign. Ouchie. Okay, we're fine. This is the easy part. Ow, ow. Just craning into everything here. I want to say the little hypersonic dash also uses rings, so I'm actively avoiding using it if I can. Because I'm not playing the best here. Yeah. The only game that does both exclusively final boss and also playable normally, yeah. Of the 2D era, yeah, that makes sense. Rush has really good final bosses in a way. I don't know if I'd like them as much going back to them, because I don't feel great about Rush in general. The soundtrack is great, it's just the difficulty curve is like absurd in Sonic Rush. Anyway, hey, that's Sonic 3 Knuckles. That was a bit more of an ordeal than I was hoping it would be, but we finally got through it. Again, overall, Sonic 1, 2, and 3 are all games that mean a lot to me. These are very nostalgic games that definitely warrant the favorites label for this series. They definitely mark the point, like Pikmin last time, which is branching out to like different series that are very outside my comfort zone traditionally. Again, when I actually got this game for my birthday, I immediately went out and also bought Adventure 2, and got a lot of mileage out of that game. Again, Adventure 2 would also be in this series if I hadn't just played it, like in October. Maybe someday we'll go back and try to 100% it, since I don't have all the achievements anymore. Because again, dead name account. But yeah, maybe we'll do that someday, but... In general, I do think I go 2, 3, and Knuckles 1. And if we're tossing in CD, which we didn't play, but, you know, maybe someday I'll play on stream. It'd be 2, 3, and Knuckles CD 1. Then Mania's probably at the top, because that's an easy, like, shoe-in. Like, of course Mania's at the top. You know, I love Sonic 2, it has some real problems. Mania's just consistently thorough, in the way that most Sonic games aren't. So I think that's why I ultimately rank that game super positively. So yeah, I'm still a Sonic fan. No matter how much I bitch about Sonic in its current incarnation as a franchise, I still consider myself a Sonic fan. I still will play every game, even if I don't always end up loving all of them. Again, mixed feelings on, like, Forces, for example. No, Forces I'm actually kind of more positive than most. Frontiers I'm less positive than most. It's kind of like weirdly backwards in a way. But also, like, you know, Shadow Generations is great. Didn't quite land for me personally, even though I can admit this is really good. But yeah, I'll keep playing Sonic games until they're, as long as they keep making them. Because I'm committed to this franchise and I want to see it continue to improve. I do get why the mentality of like, oh, this is a step in the right direction. We've been saying this for 10 years now. So I kind of get the frustration with that. But also I do hope that the next Sonic game that's like full budget, because Shadow Generations is still a budget title, they just, in my opinion, use their budget better. than with Frontiers, where you can feel the budget run out of the game. But with Shadow Generations, it feels like the scope was just designed to be smaller, so the budget actually doesn't feel like it runs out the same way. So, with all that being said, I am looking forward to seeing what they do next with the franchise. This will not be the last time Sonic shows up in this series. We will likely end up doing one more Sonic game, but that's like, in this timeline of my life, that'd be like 3 years from now, in terms of like, 5 years between that chronologically. But again, real world time, hopefully we'll get through these faster than I played them in real life, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Because I still have to get through like a Final Fantasy or two at some point. No, wait, those would be after. Well, there's still like a couple of Paper Marios. Those would take a bit. So yeah, there's one more Sonic game that definitely fits the bill, but it's probably I've already just said it, but again, a little bit unexpected. Again, for Fox Girls favorites, I have 3 Paper Marios. No, 2 Paper Marios. Mario and Luigi, that one's short. 2, maybe 3 Final Fantasies. 2 Xenoblades. So yeah, this is gonna be a very long-running series. This is not gonna be resolved anytime soon. But again, it gives me a foundation to just be like, I don't have to think about what game to play, because there's just a very easy option. Alright, so really quickly, I wanted to take a look at the Sonic Mega Collection, which again was the version of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 that I grew up with. But for the sake of actually trying to do a stream playthrough, if I had to actually do like a continue code or something, or like have to restart the entire level every time I ran out of lives, the last part of Sonic 3 definitely would have taken even longer. So, and also special stages would have been nigh impossible for Sonic 1 and 2. So I do not regret my choice to go with the Origins collection for the sake of convenience, even though those versions do have fundamental issues that I wish had been smoothed out a little bit more. So hey, this is all the games. Just for the sake of full disclosure, I did just download a save off the internet, because I did not want to re-unlock everything. Basically, all these involve, like, play Sonic 1 20 times. Play Sonic 2 and 3, like, 30 times. And it's just like, this is obnoxious. So, I didn't want to do all that, but just to show it off. You get little descriptions? Yeah, you do. I forgot Rice Star was on here, actually. And there's also Mega Collection Plus that I think has Game Gear games, which isn't as novel as it was back during this release. And also I think has like Comic Zone, or it has a couple of games that bump it up to a T rating. I know that much. I think it's Comic Zone in the Ooze. Along with like Game Gear stuff. So again, it's a fairly neat release. The main benefit, Vector Man also, I forgot about that one. The main benefit of Mega Collection is there is a lot of stuff that's like historical type, archive type stuff, Lots of concept art, oh, there we go. Like design document type stuff. So yeah, in general, I think Mega Collection is still like peak for a collection, even though I think there are definitely better ways to play some of these games, like recompilations is the big one. In terms of like the galleries and everything, I think Sonic Mega Collection is unrivaled. Gems Collection is really good too. It just has the downside of being Gems Collection, not having like the classic games. The games covered are covered well. It's just there's not as much exciting stuff to say about like Sonic, the Fighters and CD and R by comparison. Though again, a lot of love is poured into Gems Collection as well. I want to say both of these were in-house too, which is kind of novel, because a lot of Sonic games end up being like outsourced for collections nowadays, and I definitely feel like there's a double-edged sword. Some end up being, not not great. So sometimes outsourcing might actually be preferred. In a lot of examples, like Sonic Colors, which was outsourced, but also handled poorly. But then you also have like Adventure and Adventure DX, or Adventure 2 and Adventure DX, where those were not great ports, basically. So it's like, yeah, I almost wish that they had just tried to do like an emulation solution than like rebuild these games, but also Dreamcast emulation was not in the best spot then. Something wild about this collection is Archie Comics Sonic still existed. So like they straight up have like a bunch of like the comics. I want to say they have like an entire issue of the first one, which is kind of cool. I always thought this was really neat that they just included this. Obviously not gonna read it in full detail, but then they also have a lot of the covers too, which is nice. I'm trying to remember how long the comics actually went. IDW was like, I want to say the 2010s when they took over. Entire Super Special number 0, and then like every cover up until the time of release. There's something really weird about the art style of these games. Like it feels sort of off-brand, even though this is very like true to how Sonic was drawn. Like the first like couple issues feel very like SatAM, but like the Sonic 1 box art where like the quills are like drawn that way, and then it's like over here it's like we're kind of getting more like parody, I think, with like the way Sonic is drawn in general. Like you don't have like his head and then the quills are kind of like behind, so you just have like the rounded shape of his head like you do in the Sonic 1 box art and like these early covers. Most recent at the time of this game was the 10th anniversary, which was 2001, I think. In this era, they gave Sonic like really long quills. Like he could definitely stab someone with his quills in this. 2018, wow, that was a lot longer than I thought, actually. And there's a Knuckles comic arc, which is a whole thing, legally, from what I gather. There's a, you know, Sonic Chronicles says hi. And it's like special issues. So yeah, it's just cool that they have all this stuff in here. It'd be really cool to have, I think they have IDW comic covers in Origins, to be fair. And they have like special movies, they have the CD opening and ending, but it's the American versions. This is like a trailer, I think. And then they have like Sonic Advance 2 trailer. This one's really interesting, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm remembering right. Yeah, this song is not... Wait, actually no, this is pointless to show separately. I'm just gonna go over here. If I'm remembering right, I may be misremembering. But like, I remember being enamored by this video as a kid. The funny part with this video is I didn't even understand a lot of these, like, the release order of these games for a long time. So I genuinely was kind of taken aback by Sonic Adventure DX, which came out after Battle. Like, it was genuinely confusing finding out Sonic Adventure DX was also Sonic Adventure 1, but a remake. Because I wasn't quite familiar with, like, the Dreamcast when I was, like, 8. But yeah, this is a cool little video, just kind of recapping the history of the franchise. Wow, that's like very blurry footage. Yeah, the Sonic Advance 2 part has like Beta Leaf Forest. Again, I don't know if that's included in here, like as part of the montage, so that's why it just kind of skipped out of it, because it's like, we might end up seeing it twice as a result. So yeah, very nostalgic. Again, I watched this video like at least a dozen times as a kid, I'm pretty sure. I watched this a bunch, and I definitely took a lot of time going through all the comic covers. I don't know what the hell is happening with that sound chip though, but yeah, that does not sound right. No, it's the way they've captured the footage. Something definitely feels off. This is actually like the second major Sonic collection. Major being in air quotes, because there's also like a Sonic 1 and 2 and like Spinball collection on Genesis, but like the first really big collection for Sonic was Jam on Saturn. Oh, hi Kuro, welcome on in. We finished Sonic 3 in a reasonable amount of time, so I ended up just booting up Mega Collection to kind of talk about that for a little bit. It's kind of weird how much Amy is associated with tarot cards now, because that was like only in the manual, and it's like heavily incorporated. Yeah, that interlacing is very obvious. You can see the bobbing of the screen there. Again, I would have played the Mega Collection versions if I wasn't worried about like dying a bunch and getting all the emeralds, and again, that clearly paid off as the right choice, given how much we struggled a lot in Sonic 3. Yeah, the Sonic and Knuckles title screen with like the 3D models, and then there's like, you know, 3D Blast obviously uses them. 3D Blast is kind of interesting because it was actually outsourced to Traveler's Tales. Former director of Traveler's Tales that ended up doing a director's cut as like a separate mod. I've kind of thought about doing 3D Blast for like a game clearing at some point if they ever do like a re-release, but the problem is I don't think I'd actually do director's cut. I think I'd want to. Ooh, that is running in this video on my screen. I don't know how obvious it is on the feed, but that looks pretty chunky for some reason. But Sonic Jam has a whole like 3D world, so it's very tech demo-y. It also has like easy and hard mode options, I think, for the classic games. I've always wanted to play this though. I've always wanted to. Ooh, yeah, this is getting really shaky. I don't know if it's the capture, the way I am playing GameCube games at the moment, asterisk. Oh, they don't emulate it. That's really cool. That's probably why some things sound a little bit off, actually. Like, it's decent, but some things... Oh wait, it's the Dreamcast collection where all the sound effects are messed up. Now, this looks fine. I don't know what was happening with Sonic Jam footage. I don't remember it looking that choppy in my childhood experiences of watching this video like 20 times or whatever. So again, it's like, don't know why it's all messed up there. Oh wait, this doesn't have the advanced tube, so I guess we will watch that separately in a moment. Yeah, all the releases at that point. The Sonic and Garfield pack, getting a mention is fun. Using SA2 Child Garden footage for SA1? Oh, I didn't even catch that. So yeah, we'll boot up that in a moment. Wow, 3 exclamation points. They were very excited for this anniversary. Every anniversary feels mildly cursed for Sonic. Enjoy your future is going to be great. Continues to be like one of the most mocked phrases, and it's a shame because there's a lot of heart to that, but it is kind of deservedly mocked in some ways. Anyway, yeah, this is a very interesting trailer because it does use Beta Leaf Forest, which honestly I really like as a song. And the funny part is I've actually never played Advance 2 in full. I've played a little bit of Advance 1 through Ways, but I don't think I've ever really tried Advance 2. I own Sonic Advance 3 and did play it a fair amount, but I didn't really enjoy it just because of how hard it was to get the emeralds. But again, at some point, I really want to go through all the advanced games and try them out. The only one you've never gotten the true final boss on? Yeah, that's completely fair from what I've heard. I've heard Sonic Advance 2 is a bit more like Rush, where it's more speed-based, while like 1 and 3 are a little bit more exploration-based. Yeah, you have running bosses for everyone. Cream is an absolute, I almost said Deva of Destruction, but it's like, I don't know if I want to, like... It's like, how do I know that? I've never even played Danganronpa, but I've only seen playthroughs. Yeah, you have the Sonic CD opening and ending, which again, we didn't play CD in this little mini marathon. But it's nice to have this. I actually would assume this is copyright safe, but I actually don't know for sure. Like, I probably should have checked that before showing this. Yeah, this is also very nostalgic, and again, I'm pretty sure this also was a case of, like, I didn't understand that Sonic CD... Like, I don't remember how cognizant I was that Sonic CD on Gems Collection was the same CD as this until actually playing it. Like... With Adventure, I definitely, like, saw Adventure DX and bought it on impulse because I loved Sonic. And then booted it up, and then the Sonic Adventure opening plays. I'm like, wait a minute, this is Sonic Adventure! So, like, it didn't even register in my mind. I thought it was like a Sonic Adventure 3, basically. Because I didn't have internet access, and I had to go basically on what I saw in store shelves. So yeah, I had a very bad misconception of what, Sonic Adventure DX even was. It's actually really funny in hindsight thinking about that. Again, I didn't really have internet until like 2007, so I didn't, and even then it was dial-up, so... No, it was 2006, because I remember watching Sonic 06 trailers 1 frame at a time on dial-up. This is not a joke, by the way. It's like, if you ever think, how much of a Sonic fan is she? The answer is yes. I was so normal about Sonic that I would sit through a trailer on dial-up because I was that excited for Sonic 06. I was so normal as a kid. Legit though, I think the Sonic CD opening is one of the best things they've ever done out of the entire franchise. For capturing a vibe. Like, this opening is such a vibe, if that makes sense. Because this is Toei, I think. So, like, it just kind of captures an essence of Sonic that I think is really, like, cool. Which is different than a lot of portrayals where Sonic in this era, like, especially now, classic Sonic is portrayed as cute. Like, almost exclusively portrayed as cute. But, like, this is classic Sonic being portrayed as just, like, kind of kick-ass. And we don't really get this anymore. And I kind of miss that, actually. I kind of wish classic Sonic wasn't portrayed as just the cute one, and actually got to be a little bit more badass sometimes. Sonic 06 also was my first... Wait. Sonic 06 was also my first experience with Breakout, now that I think about it. Fun story. There was a Flash game that was just Breakout. I always preferred the OVA animation more than this, which is funny. Huh. I mean, I think the OVA animates very well, and Sonic also still has a very similar look to this. So yeah, in general, I do miss this era of Sonic having attitude. Like, Sonic just flips a guy off in the Sonic OVA, or at least is believed to. Some think he's not flipping off. But either way, it's like Sonic has an attitude in this era, and it's kind of forgotten, I think, that classic Sonic was also portrayed as very edgy, as like the not Mario, which again is, I think, part of the reason why Sonic stood out so much as a kid, in a way.